Just in case anyone is actually here yet or is going to see this, I'm going to attempt to do this through my webcam, and hopefully nobody is going to have a problem hearing me. So, how bad is the frets that I didn't clean well enough? That's how much crap is still on them. Hey there, Talk Think. Hopefully you hear this. Um, I'm just hopefully the mic is loud enough that it's coming through. I'm just gonna try to do stuff as it is. Um, Again, I'm changing things over. As I said, I love gold. Hey, Kim's Workshop. So, again, hopefully people can hear this. The rest of most of the chrome is coming off and getting replaced with gold. Can hear? Mick bling it out. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's already shoreline gold. Might as well add the additional bits of goldiness to it. So right now, I just cleaned the fretboard with my kind of handmade solution here, which is a bunch of 90 proof alcohol and some fretboard cleaner. And I was just polishing over the top of the frets, and I noticed that there's still a lot of grime on it. So just gonna give it a wipe down, and you can kind of see there in the light there's that much grime on the whatchamacallit on the fretboard still. So just giving it another good you can see there from previously there. Well, okay, not true gold talk. Or tall thin Kev, but plated gold or goldish looking stuff. Just the other thing, just to show people, I've already got the string tree attached. And yes, I should probably cover this stuff up better before doing it, but that's not oiled. It's just cleaned off, and it's actually a really nice piece of rosewood on the fretboard. I almost kind of feel like I would be doing the actual neck a disservice if I actually pulled the frets out of it, but these frets are a little too vintagey and narrow, so that might be something in the future that gets done on this. So while I'm doing this, since I gave it a cleaning, lemon oil, Yeah. Again, as I was showing at the beginning, gold, gold, and yes, I will be putting another matching 6 saddle bridge on it. Oh, I got a 6 saddle, or I got a 3 saddle uh, Furia. It's it's kind of eh. Anyways, I just put the silver string through. Again, for those that are curious, this is a Squier vintage modified Telecaster thinline. It is a legitimate thin hollow body, as you can see here when I tilt the camera. And the neck is a 22 fret, and it looks like it's vintage thin frets, which is kind of eh. All right, and it's a Gibson scale neck, so it is 24 3/4, so it gives it a very unique thing. So while we are at it, I'll just try to note this is pretty much, I got this all stock, Kim. So these are the Duncan design pickups that came with the guitar, and a fair amount of people have actually said that they like the pickups in reviews, and the few people that have actually read my heard the sound demo. They don't do very well with like the high gain, really high gain stuff. Probably like a low level gain probably wouldn't be too bad, but clean and crunch, these things sound really nice, at least in this guitar, combined maybe with the semi-hollow aspect of it. So let's see what we got here. Let's give the top a little bit of a who uses a hollow body for high gain? Honestly, a controversial individual who does. Ted Nugent actually used Gibson Birdlands throughout his whole career. I don't think he actually used anything but. And he was definitely high gain. So again, to anyone that needs to clean off a guitar, and yeah, it can kill a finish to a certain degree, but that's the stuff you want to get rid of the germs and everything else and get grime off. This isopropylene alcohol. Anytime I get a used guitar, I usually give it a good wipe down with it. In this case, I'm just giving the pick guard a quick wipe down here, just to kind of get that oil I had from the putting the lemon oil on. And there's also some grit back here, it looks like. As you can see when I tilt it in the cam view, there's a little bit of darkness to it. So anyways, let's see. Let's get this at least sorted out of the way. Cat scratch for you there. So these unfortunately have a hex nut. So let's see if actually the included hex nut with the bridge actually works on them. If not, I'll have to go over and grab my nope, too big. or sorry, too small. So I need a bigger one than that. Yeah. Yeah, I did Furoria. Oh, too big. Found it. This one doesn't want to let go. There, we got one off. So is this coming through nice and clear for folks? And the sound good? Because I have like 15 meg upload, and I'm assuming this should be streaming like really clear, like to the point that it does on like some of the bigger channels like Steve from Boston, aka Pixie Licks, and Tone King and that, because they also have high speed bandwidth connections. Okay, since we have that off, give this a good clean around here. figured might as well change the knobs out. Too big, too small, too little, too big. Not enough, more than enough. Yeah, it sounds about right. In this case, these actually have a little flat head to them. That would be crappy if I bought these and they didn't, and they weren't. And they didn't fit right. All right. Knobbish. Well, I'd assume I have enough screws here to do that. All right, let us get into the cavity. So I hope everyone's day is going well. Yep, Furora, that's exactly the idea. Check out the shielding and see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned in it. Given the age of the guitar and not knowing where it is, it might be a good idea to definitely do that. All right. So, actually, I missed one. Obviously, Fury Aura. Okay, cool. It's so hard to pronounce these names properly and such. So, obviously, I need more coffee. I forgot one screw there. Speaking of which, cheers. So, before I can change those two screws, I actually should look in. So, now what I'm going to do, definitely put these over here. And let's open her up. Well, that's interesting. Seems this overhangs, which means, unfortunately, I'm going to have to drop that out. Or jack it up out of the way. See if hopefully that will do it. No. Oh, I gotta drop it. Oh, that's interesting. So, what do we got so far? Well, that's shielded. That's good. This isn't shielded. Cavity isn't shielded. So that could cause a bit of a problem. You wanting to shield this stuff. So, first off, let's take the cloth here, like that. Put that down on the side. That over out of the way. Get that wipe. And wipe. You can actually kind of see it's actually numbered 7 through 1. I was thinking that I was going to need to replace the pots, but it looks like they've actually used a nice big pot on it, so it's rather nice. So, just for argument's sake, let's give that a clean. Put that down out of the way. Where's my X-Acto knife? No, it's a 3-way. It's actually a pretty, not not sure how well the cam will pick that up, but it's pretty heavy duty three-way that's actually on here. A YKE three-way. But yeah, I mean, everything that's on here seems to be a little bit of solder here. But everything that's on here is, you know, actually pretty damn high quality. Which, again, when you're buying a Squier Vintage Modified, you definitely are not expecting. I'm not sure. Probably a. Maybe it's easier for them and easier for them to actually solder it if they know the numbering. And there's a few of these are actually uh, soldered together by a link of metal, slight bit of metal. So, to me, solder makes it sound like soldier. Like I said, I'm not a big person on the whole grammar and Nazi kind of thing. Trip to the hospital. What are you talking about, Kev? I hope not. Just giving it a wipe off because I find this stuff has a bit of residue on it, which I think was actually preventing my shielding before. But given the nature of the amount that's being shielded, let's make sure to nicely shield all the way up to here. All right. Okay. Hey, Jonathan. Thanks. Oh, yeah, Kev. I try not to make a habit of doing that stuff. Okay. Just a second. Be right back in a second, folks. I gotta do something for my mom quickly. There's that fucking one that came here and was being a bitch to you. Oh, no, it's that other gal. I thought that was the one that came here and said, "This is only a job, lady." Walking out front there, I thought it was her. But no, it's just a gal. All right, like I said. Oh, all right, I'm back. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely that would be pretty bad. Okay, 45 minutes almost. I've survived here. Wow. What was I doing? Yeah, that definitely does not sound like fun. Yeah, shoreline gold is a really nice gold. That kind of that faded, kind of goldish kind of color. In fact, you will find that you'll find on the John 5 Squier signature Telecaster, it's this shoreline gold color. And it's pretty much almost the same thing. It's all decked out gold, gold hardware, um, rosewood neck, except of course 12-inch radius, 22 frets. I think the fender scale length, and of course two uncovered humbuckers. All right, that's out of the way. I'm going to tackle the actual cavity itself. Fury RO, what do you mean by Rhodes? Do you mean like Rhodes is in the piano, or do you mean like is in like a Randy Rhodes kind of themed guitar? Ah, probably wouldn't look bad. So, again, thanks for the 3 viewers so far. Um, Given me doing this at the time of the day that I figured, I didn't expect it to be like a whole big amount of people, but I knew there's some people on over here from Europe and that, and I know uh, in regards to the Twitch, my involvement with people on Twitch, on the AMD Twitch channel, and so forth. I know there's not a lot of people that do stuff between like the 9 a.m. Eastern to like 3 p.m. Eastern kind of time slot. So I figured while I had the ability to jump on here, I figured I might as well do it. And just kind of change things up a bit as well, too. So, again, I'd like to, you know, thank all you that are watching. Um, Also, anyone who's donated and given stuff to me in the past, whether it be a couple bucks or some of my tools and that, or things to get me going and getting my guitar tools to do all this stuff, Again, I appreciate it all. And, again, I hope everyone's you know, in good health and such. There's so much negativity going on in this day and age that it's like, it's a terrible thing. Well, that's interesting to note. I'm having a real hard time to get this peeling. But see if I can get this in view here. You can kind of see it right down here. There is a hole where they drilled through to make the routing for the wire. Yeah, no prob. Thanks for stopping by, Kev. Have a good one. Bit of an edge there. So I can have it shield there as well too. Hey Ben, am I interrupting your broadcasting that you normally do around this time of the day? I hope not. Oh, nice. Just sign lives. Oh, thanks. I just decided to actually try to stream this since they're doing it through Chrome, so I'm trying the web browser enabled one. And I have 15 meg upload on my internet, so I figured I have enough bandwidth to do this. And I got a Logitech C920 webcam, so hopefully it comes through nice and HD to people. If anyone's out there and does see a 1080 HD thing, can you let me know in the chat? That'd be great. Thank you. Thanks, Ben. Okay. Bring this back down in place. Ben, where I get the grounding foil from? Your local hardware shop. Again, it's duct, D-U-C-T tape. That's all this is duct tape. And it's the cheaper stuff. is a little thinner, but if you want better stuff, then you pay the little bit extra. But I mean, like for like this raw, it cost me $5, and for the better stuff, it might cost you like 7, $8 for like a really thick roll of it. But I mean, you can see I got this black stuff off my fingers from it, which is why I keep wiping it down, because it's the cheaper stuff isn't exactly great. But again, if you buy like the higher end stuff, pay the extra like $4 to $6 more, or whatever, for it. That's thicker. You definitely don't have any issues with like getting like really bad one. Yep, left a little piece here. There's a little piece there, and under the lip here of the fretboard, I've also left some, so it'll make contact with that and that. In case you missed earlier, I've already mounted the gold string tree, and I'm just going through trying to look in the cavity and try to clean it up some. In this case, they definitely didn't put any shielding in here, as you can see, so I'm just going to add some for the benefit of the doubt, for sure. I should actually replace this in the string trees to gold too, but since I'm leaving like some of the stuff still silver, I figure I might as well just leave it how it is. Okay. So I also got other apps running in the background besides this, like Facebook, my email clients, my Skype, and yeah, actually I also have Steam running in the background. So I'm just doing this to talk kind of PC techie wise. My system's a AMD uh, AMD FX 8350 processor, which is bi-core processor. So it's basically 4 cores, 8 threads. It's running at 4 gigahertz. I got 16 gigs of Mushin Blackline DDR3 1600. I'm running a 240 gig Samsung 840 Evo SSD drive. Still running Windows 7. I plan on hopefully upgrading by midsummer to a new AMD Ryzen setup with a M.2 hard drive. And I also got a decent sound card, an Asus Sonar DX. I have a Radeon R9 280X video card in here. I just got a single plain Dell 24-inch monitor. Webcam is a Logitech C920. They have a C930 out, and they also have another one out now, which actually does 60 frames per second, 1080p, and low level 4K. But That's like a $200 webcam. But you can imagine how good that would be in regards to that. So I'm going to try to carefully put this into place. A little bit around the lip there, of course. So we got a bit there. Ooh, 6 viewers. Hello, hello, welcome. So there hasn't been. Oh, it's all right, Ben. Thanks. So again, this cavity didn't have any shielding. This cavity didn't have any shielding, so I put shielding into it. This didn't have any shielding behind it, so I put some shielding there as well too, to try to shield it more. And again, upon discovering, I've already mounted the gold knobs. Also, I'm discovering as I turn it over, it has nice larger alpha style pots and this nice 3-way switch by YKE is in here. And I mean, even by the switching, you could feel it's a heavy switch, so that's kind of cool as well too. So I'm just going around um, trying to put things more in place. So the last thing I'll probably be doing is the bridge shielding in there. Then I can actually remount this and be done with it, hopefully. A nice pile of garbage behind me. Thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. Who's happy to give me a thumb up? Again, for anyone that's actually watching and wondering how, um, if this is hard to do, if you can assemble stuff, you can do a lot of this stuff. And I encourage anyone else to go out on the internet and search forums or search uh, your tube in itself. There's lots of people that have posted videos on doing this stuff. It's just simply a matter of, just a matter of time, of taking the time to learn and do the stuff. Really. Oh, that sucks, Ben. I should be doing this a lot better with George, you might think it's cheap and availability is easy, but it's not. And you look at various other people online that have done it, and if you get a uh, good duct tape, it's no different than copper. It really, honestly is. It's just a matter of simply making the um, the connectivity between it all so that it is properly grounded. Mind you, I will admit the copper actually probably would go nice with the shoreline gold. Okay, I did not get that piece very well in there, or high enough, but that's fine. I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. Yeah, like I said, you can see on my fingertips here, they're dark and cruddy. And it's because it's got a cheaper kind of thing in there. Like, it's a cheaper, thinner aluminum foil kind of thing. It's funny because for shits and giggles on that base kit I built, I actually took aluminum foil that you use for cooking food and I shoved that into the cavities and it actually worked. So, I mean, even that in theory is kind of would work too if you're in a pinch and you wanted like a kind of thicker kind of aluminum and shielding. So I'm just trying to do it that I'm flipping over an edge so that it actually does make some connectivity with the other metals. So it is conductive and grounded properly. Again, just bending edges so there's conductivity. Thanks, George. Or you're welcome, I should say. No problem. Sometimes not everything is right, but also at the same time, that's why it's always good to research stuff and try to understand stuff. So I've always gone by the motto knowledge is power. Okay. I will say the other big advantage of using the cheaper stuff is if you actually buy like the copper and the higher end duct tape that has a thicker thickness to it. The glue that they use on it is extremely sticky. So the good thing is if you actually use this stuff and it doesn't seem to shield or work right, at least it's very easy to rip it out. It's still a pain in the ass to rip it out, but comes out a lot easier than the other stuff. Okay. Go all shielded. I'm just taking some of the isopropylene, cleaning off the tips of my fingers here a bit. Yep, that's good, George. And yes, Ben, that'll be the last thing I do. So now let's see if we can do this. If this isn't the right screw, then I might have to find another screw to work, but in theory, it could be the same screw to hold it in place, or a similar one. Finer thread. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a finer thread screw, but it works. Finer thread and sticks through, but if it works, I will take it. Like I said, worst case scenario, if it provides a grounding issue, then I'll just put the originals back in. Already starting to look better. Let's get this back into place. And get these down and through. After I drop this. Ben, this is all basically stock. So these are the Duncan designed pickups that are already in here. Like I said, a lot of people have said that the pickups really don't need to be changed. So, and for the most part, the only thing they won't do is extra heavy high gain. Everything else it does pretty nice. So I agree with what most people have said or reviewers of this guitar back in the past. Again, this guitar is a 2010, and I only think they made them till 2014. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I know these weren't made in a very long run. They also made a all mahogany version of this, which was really sharp as well too. But the all mahogany version had a 7 1/4 radius fretboard and I think 21 vintage frets. Crap. Again, like I said, it's a true hollow body. Yeah. And unfortunately, I just dropped it then. I know I don't want to let the neck off, so hmm. Ta-da! Lost the screws in the process, but got it done. All right. €5. Hey, thanks. Thanks for stopping in to view this slow process. Gold and gold. No, that might not level out, but thanks, Ben. And okay, have a good one, George. Hey, Shane. Thanks. And yeah, it's getting a little bit more herdier. This is why, like I said in some of these videos, I call them refurbed. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what you're basically doing. You're putting different parts or newer parts onto a guitar. So you then, in turn, are more refurbishing it than you are restoring it. Um, refurb or mod, I think, would probably be, you know, kind of the two best ways to call it. And one more screw. down, down. That. And of course the furnace kicks on, so you might hear that. Make sure those are tight. Okay. Oh yeah. Just kind of. Yeah, that might help a little. Put it on in the right place. Oh, that's nice, Ben. All right. Again, so far. Cleaned in lemon oil, re-cleaned, polished the frets further, lemon oiled the fretboard. Like I said, again, it's a true semi-hollow. In case anyone thought otherwise, you can see the speck of dirt in there. Now the last thing. I'd like to save the strings, but if not, I've already gotten another set of strings. Again, hope the stream is good quality for those that are still around looking. Hoping to stream for about another half hour and have this wrapped up by then. And I'll probably be hopping over to the AMD Twitch channel to play Quake Champions with the rest of the AMD community that we normally do on Fridays. Okay. Again, 3 screws in place thing. Apparently, I will need all these. So, for those wondering about this pickup, no, here we go. It actually has a serial number that unfortunately I won't be able to get to show up on cam that well, but it says a heavy copper plate. The text here on the pickup reads as follows: TE101B bridge ROHS, of course, 1007. So I don't know what that is, but if you like the sound of this pickup, that's basically the pickup in question. Let's pull these out of place. Try not to lose them. Oh. So, as we see here, it's totally unshielded. Ground wire is thin, but seems good still. Actually, I can pull this back out of the way. So, let's shield it up and get that taken care of. Good luck, Ben. I have over 1,400 videos. I might be approaching 1,600 by now that I've uploaded since 2010. Some guitar refinishing, some me when I restarted playing guitar, so it'll be interesting. Hope you would have a lot of time to waste. Nice. Every once in a while, I'll get in a mood where I'll go and I'll watch somebody's back videos, but I have to admit it's not very often that I do. I laugh because somebody says to me, "Aren't you embarrassed to put up the stuff that you put up?" And it's like I say to people, it's like someone doesn't put up how good or bad they're playing, doesn't encourage people to do so themselves and not be afraid to, you know, go out and do stuff themselves. And, you know, kind of seems a shame that, people get so like dismayed from, trying to learn and explore. Because, I mean, there's all kinds of people out there that jump down the necks of people and like, you're playing that chord wrong or your guitar is out of tune, blah blah blah. And you get enough negative people like that jumping on you, you have no desire to play the guitar. So you almost have to have like a blind eye to all that stuff. You know, unless someone happens to actually take the time and talk nicely to you and say it to you nicely. Like I mean, there's nice negative feedback, and then there's like being a dick negative feedback. And YouTube is very, very full of those types of folks. Or as I like to say, very anal retentive. Like right now, they're probably saying, "No, you're shielding that cavity the wrong way." Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've tried to, I've more and more kind of gotten like that myself. Well, this one isn't coming out so easily. Of course, it's an awkward piece. More teeny tiny strip. Ow. All right, so a little bit of foil on the back edge, teeny bit on the front edge here. And thanks, Ben, and yes, I am. Canadians with Guitars. Go check it out, especially if you're Canadian. We know guitars, eh? Because we're from Canada, eh? We play no guitars. Oh, God, mini toques for headstocks. That is just scary. Truly, truly scary. Hey, guys, check out my toque for my headstock, eh? Yep, Kim. I'm located in the Georgian Bay area of Ontario, aka Cottage Country. You know what? I wanted to save these strings, and I don't think I want to deal with that mess. So, as we like to say, it's time to cut the cord. I've only got one other pack of strings otherwise, so I'm hoping not to break any strings. But I really don't want to put my Rainbow Slinky Cobalt on this guitar. The whirling strings of death. It knocks everything out of place. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Ben. And especially if you got a bunch of, packs of strings lying around, then it really isn't a big issue. But if you only got like one pack of strings lying around, then you really have to be kind of cautious of stuff. Now, here's the thing I remember a lot of people say are a big pain in the ass, and that's putting the springs and pickup back into the new bridge. No, you get back here. So yeah, also for a bit of a change, I decided to actually stream this. I normally just do this stuff kind of like offline, but I figured, you know what? Instead of doing a video, it's a lot easier to just stream this and then actually do the feed or let YouTube actually save it and record it. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's it as well too. For anyone curious about where I get my parts or my tools or supplies, um, eBay for one. Guitar Fetish, Philadelphia Luthier. I'm trying to think where else. Uh, Gone to Dragonfire or TNT Customs, which is their other kind of subdomain for parts as well there too. Um, a lot of people hate on Guitar Fetish, but the reality is when you're looking for parts especially like the Asian imports, you at least with a guitar fetish have at least a bit of security knowing that if you don't get something that is a perfect match, that you're going to end up with the ability to return it and get something else or get credit back on it. At least in most instances, anything you're buying off of eBay is a crapshoot. Kind of like the Telecaster neck I actually put on the Harley Benton as a replacement. Actually made out pretty decently on that, and Strat neck as well too that I customized and put on the Made in Mexico Strat body. That was also a fluke out, and like in those cases, it's like $42. Um, Again, if you go back and look at my Jazz Blastered video, other than parts that I had laying around, which were for the most part guitar fetish stuff, anyways, that matched up with it, I basically built that whole Jazz Blaster Jazz Master out of guitar fetish for 400 Canadian, which you're not going to get a Swamp Ash in the $400 range for a Jazz Master / Jaguar type guitar. But unfinished 3-piece Swamp Ash body for like $90 US. That's not a bad deal at all. So, just give these a make sure nice tighten down. Just be sure. A little bit of dirt or schmut here. Can't scrape it off. So, otherwise, there it is for the most part. Thanks, Ben. Actually, I might as well just grab the strings and put the strings on. Ow. That's like scraping my toe. So again, my strings of choice for many years, Ernie Ball Super Slinkies, of course used by Keith Richards, Jimmy Page, Angus Young, blah 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 blah. Oh, and Ryan Bruce, aka Fluff of YouTube fame. He's now actually on the back of these packages. of the names. Let's see here. Ah, there we go. Down right around there, it reads Jared Dines, Rob Chapman, Charlie Para, and Ryan Fluff Bruce. Yeah. No cool insert. I just usually pull them through and lock them down enough in the case of a locking tuner, and then usually go from there. Yeah, I usually use the super slinkies or the regular slinkies. I haven't used very heavier strings than that ever. Always been kind of curious to actually check out the lighter gauge stuff, but The only other gauges of strings I actually use besides the Ernie balls are the original strings I used back when I got my first made in Japan 68 reissue Fender Telecaster, which was the silver bullet series strings, which fit very well in these in the tremolos and these stock tailpieces in these Fender guitars. And one last one. So I like to run them through, then once I lock them down, try to pull them into place a bit, and then properly measure them, get them not as loose, but more tightened up. And then I can tighten the strings accordingly and still leave enough wraps from the string tree. Now for my handy little nut lube. Lip balm. In this case, a nice minty French one. I also do the pencil shavings thing as well too. Not sure how well this is going to be heard, but just put it into my clean mode and I guess still set up the bridge, but that's it. seems to be shielded better, so I will set up the bridge and tune the guitar better later. Otherwise, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours of this, so I think I've streamed long enough. I think it's time for some R&R, playing some Quake Champions with the people I know in the AMD community over at AMD Twitch. So again, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it, and I will do this again shortly, or maybe another time. Again. There we go. That's it. Bye for now, folks. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later.